I watch a lot of football. I think for a lot of people, I am their football supporting friend. And I'm aware that a lot of people do not do anything close to that. They only watch football when the World Cup or the Euros is on, and as such, they don't really think about how to watch football, what to look out for, things that you can talk about and think about in order to sound intelligent when people in your office or in your group chats are talking about the football being on. I do know about that stuff. In fact, I've been to enough football that I have enough stock footage to cover a long video of me talking about it. So, as a public service, here is a short guide of things to know so you can sound intelligent when you're talking about the World Cup while it's on. There are two managers who have been majorly influential on the development of football in the 21st century. So let's talk about who they are and what they've done. First of all, United Arab Emirates government propagandist Pep Guardiola, not pictured here. He's arguably the most influential working men's football coach in the world today. And like all philosophies, his ideas are highly complicated, you could write books about them and plenty of people have, but they're built on simple principles. Principle number 1. The other team can't score if they don't have the ball. Simple, right? And true in every ball sport that is vaguely similar to football. It works just as well as a philosophy in rugby or American football or ultimate frisbee as football is. The difficult part is keeping the ball for as much of the game as humanly possible. It's mainly only possible if you have access to the greatest players in the world. Luckily, in his managerial career, Pep Guardiola has routinely had access to the greatest football teams in the world, and his teams keep the ball a lot. But it's not just keeping it, it's what you try to do with it. So principle number 2, if everyone is in the right position, you will always have someone to pass to. This works 2 different ways. Everyone needs to know where they are relative to the ball at all times, and everyone needs to know where they are relative to all of their teammates at all times. If you do that, you can routinely score goals. In fact, Pep Guardiola's teams quite notoriously can score the same type of goal over and over and over again because they are very good at manipulating the defenders into being exactly in the right places, and then their players know exactly where they need to be in order to score. If you can control the ball and you can control your positioning, you can control the game. You can play on your own terms, and as an added bonus, the other team gradually gets physically and mentally exhausted from chasing you all over the pitch so that even when they get the ball, they can't do anything with it. That's what Pep Guardiola's teams and most of the best club teams in the world try to do. The other major influential manager is Jurgen Klopp. So let's talk about him. Imagine you're playing football and your team loses the ball. Your instinct says that your team should retreat, you should drop back, defend your own goal to stop them from scoring, right? Jurgen Klopp says that you should do the exact opposite. Another principle. It's easier to score if you get the ball close to the other team's goal. And by get, it doesn't mean just have the ball, it means recover the ball from the other team. Because at the moment you recover the ball, the other team's defense won't be well organized. Why defend by taking the ball back here when you can instead defend by taking the ball up here? This means that your forward players will have to defend and tackle and try and get the ball back from the other team. But it also means that the other team's defenders and even their goalkeeper will have to play difficult passes under pressure from other players, which they don't want to do, and they won't be comfortable doing because they won't have spent as much time working with the ball as midfielders or attacking players have done. When you do that successfully, you control the space, so you can keep all of your attacking players close to one another and good for attacking, and also close to the other team's goal, where they're most likely to score. The only problem is, all of that defending will tire them all out, which could be a problem if you're playing lots of games back to back, and also, by pushing the team all the way forward, you have a lot of space to defend in behind you. But if it works, you're going to win the ball close to the other team's goal a lot of the time. And from those situations, you're going to have a lot of chances to score. It's going to work more often than it doesn't. A lot of the best teams in the world have very complicated systems of how they do this, but they all press. And that's the fundamental of that philosophy. The problem with both the Klopp way of playing football and the Guardiola way of playing football is that You can't do it if you're an international manager, because being an international football manager sucks. Because you can barely control what players you have available to you, and you have next to no time to actually coach them in any complicated tactical ideas. Both those Klopp and Guardiola methods require specialised players, bought for specialised roles, playing with the same set of teammates over and over again, and training the same tactics 200 plus days a year, and coached in complicated methods that are interrelated to the teammates that they're playing with and change depending on who the opposition is that they're playing. National teams get none of that. Teams are thrown together and change on a whim with injuries and availability, and sometimes you don't even have the players just because of the set of players that are available to you at any one time. Look at Scotland. Here's a quick map of the 11 best players that Scotland have available to pick in their best positions. Good luck trying to make that into a team, and the problem with doing it is why Scotland aren't at this World Cup. Sometimes it is just the luck of the draw. So what is an easy way to coach around this? Well, if you have a short time on a training pitch, you can coach pre-prepared routines. These would normally be from a fixed point and normally would be from a corner or a free kick or something that would allow you to get the ball into the other team's penalty box. But if you think about it, a lot of different things that happen in a football match are fixed points where you can coach a specific movement or routine. Throw-ins, for example, or even the kickoff of the game itself. As time has gone on, club football teams have been developing intricate routines based on these moments as well. In the last World Cup, England took inspiration from basketball and American football, sports entirely built on pre-prepared plays that you work on the training pitch. When winning the European Championships for men, Italy had binders with hundreds of variations of things they were going to try and do whenever they had the chance. The problem is, every team has video analysis. They know exactly what your routines are going to be in advance. If you get as far as a penalty shootout, every goalkeeper will have researched every player on the opposing team and know where they are likely to shoot. We are in an information age, and that information gets everywhere. So if I was an international manager, well, there's one thing I would do. I would coach a lot of routines, a lot of free kick, corner, throw-in, goal kick, kickoff routines, and I wouldn't have shown them to anyone before the World Cup started. The first time anyone would see them would be on the biggest stage of all, where no one was prepared for what I was going to do. My guess is that some of the managers in this World Cup will do exactly that. And if we see a lot of goals scored from corners and free kicks and throw-ins, well, that's because of good coaching. There will be tricks in this World Cup that no one has seen before. Let's just hope it's entertaining. Thanks for watching. DFTBA.